Hey, welcome back, folks. I'm glad you could make it. And you're going to be really glad you're inside here with me today because there's a freaking blizzard going on outside. Well, it's not real cold, but there's lots of snow and it's pretty windy. Well, anyhow, never mind the weather. I'm going to apologize for not being around much for you lately, but well, we've had a few technical difficulties that created some problems when it came to uploading videos, and well, even now we're not running at full speed on things. Got a few issues going on we're kind of working on, but getting there anyhow. So just thought I'd apologize for that without going into too much detail. Just be careful when you're buying a phone if it matters to you. It turns out some of them you can't even upload videos to YouTube with. That was my plan B in case my computer, my internet went down, and I thought, oh, no problem. I'll just transfer the file to my phone because I can do that, and then I'll just upload it from there. But no, we couldn't do that. Turns out that particular phone you also cannot use as a hotspot or tether it to your computer for internet. Yeah, so we had problems. Anyhow, so today I want to talk about ground tying. And it's kind of an interesting topic. It's not one that's entirely new to me. I'm rather familiar with it. But I did learn something about it. Apparently, it's not a universal thing that they do in all countries. I was watching a video of another guy from another country, but he's well traveled. And he went on to explain that it's not something that's done in a lot of countries. In fact, there's a lot of places they've never even heard about it. Well, for those of you that don't know what ground tying is, it's simply when you drop the reins, if you got long split reins or if you got a lead on the horse, you drop it on the ground, and that's the cue to the horse to stand still, not go anywhere, which, well, I can see why some countries it's definitely a little more common than others, because, for example, where I live in North America, there's a lot more ranching, although it's getting less common now because not as many guys are using horses. But, if you're out in the middle of a pasture somewhere and you got to doctor a cow a bit, get off your horse, well, there's nothing anywhere near you to tie it to. Don't want your horse wandering off for miles. So they developed ground tying, which is quite simply just drop your reins, your lead on the ground, and that's the cue to the horse. Don't go anywhere. Well, for those of you that have been watching my videos and paying attention, this little feller here, he's young and he's in training, and well, we'd actually gotten up to the point of riding him, and then he developed a little split in one of his hooves. We decided to err on the side of caution and not ride him anymore, but we didn't want to completely quit working with him. So we decided we'd try something that wouldn't be too stressful on his hoof. So we thought, hey, ground tying, perfect. He doesn't have to move at all for that. Well, not really. Not supposed to anyhow. That's the goal, is that you want the horse to just stand still. So we decided to mess around with him a bit on that. And first day, well, we spent maybe 15, 20 minutes working on it. It was coming along not bad. That was pretty good. And, well, then we kind of forgot about it for a while, and I think it was just about a month later we decided to try it again. I thought, oh, man, we better check and make sure this is still working. Well, geez, we walked about halfway across the arena, dropped the lead on the ground, walked away from him, he stayed right there. Perfect. I thought, well, that was pretty cool. I went back, picked up the lead again, walked around the arena for a while, dropped it on the ground, walked away from him, he stayed right there. Well, that was pretty good. I was impressed with that, especially considering that was only the second time we'd done it, and the first time was only 15, 20 minutes, which, is an example of how fast horses can learn. You don't have to spend an hour working on something, okay? Just drives a horse nuts. Frustrating when hey, how much is 2 plus 2? Well, if I ask you 10, 15, 20 times, you're going to get kind of annoyed with me. Well, it's the same thing with working with the horse. Anyhow, I go back over to him, pick up the lead again. Well, that time I unhooked it from the halter, and I walked away, and he went with me because the lead wasn't on the ground tying him. So apparently, we're getting the hang of this thing here. And, well, it's been a while again, another couple of weeks since the last time we did it. So I'm going to throw a halter and lead on him here and give it a little try again today and let's see how it works. Well, you'll get to see what ground tying is, well, assuming it works. If not, you're going to get to see how we teach him how to ground tie. And you think, well, that's a lot of distractions. Got a bunch of other horses in here, too. As you can see, there's a few other horses. Actually, there's a total 4 horses in here right now. One, you can't see the one. She's hiding. She's there, though. She's there. She's behind one of the other ones. But we're going to just quickly throw a halter and lead on this guy and try it out and see how things work. And like I say, if you think I got a lot of distractions in here, well, I actually had all 4 horses in here to distract them when I taught them how to do it. So I'm thinking it's no big deal. No different than when he first learned how to do it. So give me a minute to get them together here, and we'll see how this works. Okay, so we got them all haltered up and a lead on them here, and just going to go for a walk here. And well, you can do this with a saddle on, with the bridle on too. If you use long split reins, you can use them. It is actually possible to put the bridle right over top of a halter. And some people think that's tacky, you shouldn't do it or whatever. I don't care. It's practical, and the cavalry used to do it all the time. They thought it was a good idea, so well, who's to argue with them? And then you just do a little clove hitch like this, and you can hook it onto your horn. Just make sure you always leave enough so that the horse can turn fully to the one direction, or you can completely take it off. Anyhow, so with the lead on, or reins, whichever. I've seen it done with both. Just drop him on the ground there, and we'll walk away and see if he stays there. This, people, is what you call ground tying. He is now attached to that spot in the ground with the lead. Well, we're going to go back over here, pick the lead up. Good little man. Yeah, that's a good man. And keep in mind, it only took me about 15, 20 minutes to teach him to do this. Now, I expect once we take them outside and there's a whole lot more distractions, it's not going to be so good, but that's okay. We'll just keep doing the same thing we did when we were in here. Now, just walk around a little more. Now, I'll just come back to you. We'll get them turned around facing you this time. And, well, I think we'll ground time right here. Good spot, right there. There you go. Well, like I said, that took all of about 15, 20 minutes to teach him to do that. And that's what ground tying is. It's when you got nothing around you to tie to, you tie to the ground. That's essentially what you're doing. That's how the name come about. We'll see if he does the same thing he did the last time, once we take the lead off, and then walk away without being ground tied. See, without the lead on now, it's a little more inclined to move around. Now, I'm not even sure if I want to go to the trouble of showing you how to go about doing this, but maybe we will. Well, at least how I did it with him. I'm sure it would be done differently with different horses. And he was actually particularly easy to work with, too. We just went and got our lunge whip here. And using some basic principles of training is, we don't hit him with it. It's pressure. We just create an environment that he's not crazy about. And well, we drop the lead on the ground and we'd start walking away. Now, if he was to choose to follow me, he just took a step. Only one, though. That's good. Okay, he's not going to do it, so it's going to be a little hard. Oh, there we go. We're going to create an environment. There we go. He stopped moving. I stopped swinging the lunge whip around. Remember, I'm not trying to hit him. I know I'm off camera now. We'll just come back over, pick up the lead. That was interesting. He's actually done it quite well, but that's okay. He needed a refresher. But basically, that's what you do is, okay, I ground time and then I walk away. If he was to follow me or move like that, we just immediately start swinging the lead rope to create an unpleasant environment. And he circles around, and he's still moving. No, I don't want you following me. Sorry, Maul, you're kind of in the way. Oh, he stopped moving. Okay, I stopped swinging the thing around. I'm going to go get him again. Oh, you want to move again? Okay, he's going to move again. So we'll just start swinging this thing. There we go. Let me get this lead here. I'll bring him back over here. Now, this is how I do it. There's different ways of doing it. And hopefully your horse will, in fact, want to come towards you, which tells me how good a relationship you have with the horse. If it walks away from you, well, same thing, just follow it around, but do it in a kind of a contained space like this so that you know, if he wants to move, fine, he gets to move, but he's going to have to move lots. I'm going to keep him moving. If he comes towards me, I'm just going to make it a place he really doesn't want to be all that bad, even though he really wants to come to me, because he does. He's pretty social. That's kind of how we do it, is every time he moves, we just turn it into something that's not really all that pleasant, like that. And see, that's how quick he learns, is all I had to do is swing it once, and he realized, oh, no, I don't want to do that. I don't like that thing. So we're going to try this again. Just the way he's reacting today, I almost suspect he might move again. We'll see. I don't really care. Doesn't matter. If he does, he does. Uh-oh. He's thinking about it. He moved 1 foot. But this is what you do. There you go. Guide me in. Okay, and each time you go a little further away from him, you start off just a few feet away, a few steps, and a little further each time. And eventually, when you drop that lead on the ground, you can walk out of the room, and he's going to stay exactly where you left him. And just to give you an example of how ground tying can be used, I'm going to insert a little picture here. And the horse that the picture is of, I don't know the horse or the owner. It was next to where I was working. Some people just finished herding some cattle down the road, and then they loaded them up into a truck, probably took them off to market or maybe moved them to another pasture. I don't know. But the rider actually must have gone in the truck or something and left the horse behind. And they ground tied the horse, and I went past it a couple of times while it was there. And that thing was actually standing there for, as far as I know, maybe longer, but as far as I know, at least 3 hours. That horse didn't move a muscle. But that was a rancher, and he was using it to move cattle. And, well, that's kind of a typical application for ground tying, is when you, that's kind of an extreme one, but usually you don't go that far away. But, yeah, he ground tied that horse. And like I said, to the best of my knowledge, it was there for about 3 hours. And eventually, I guess they did come back. I didn't see, but I was quite impressed. That horse didn't move an inch the entire time. And so that was a practical application right there for ground tying. And, well, I just got to show you how quickly a horse can learn to do it. How you can basically do it 2 ways is, if the horse comes towards you, you just create an environment around you where the horse really doesn't want to be there all that bad. Or if the horse decides to walk off, you just say, okay, fine, you want to walk off, you get to keep on walking. And I'm going to keep swinging this thing and annoying you with it. And you can use a flag or whatever. It doesn't have to be a lunge whip. And you can keep the horse moving. And eventually it decides, you know what, I think when you drop that thing on the ground, I'm just going to stay put, because that's a whole lot less work. And in his case, like I said, I didn't want to be loading up that hoof too much, so we thought this was something good to work on. It doesn't require a whole lot of work. The amount of movement that he actually gets is no more than he would get out in the pasture, probably a lot less actually. And so there you go. That's ground tying. I suspect it's not as popular even here as it used to be because fewer people are using horses for ranching now, and I suspect part of the problem is, well, actually, there's some people that never even heard about it, even in this country, and some people just don't think they need to, and some people probably don't have a clue how. I'm not sure. Combine all of those things, and it's actually becoming a bit of a lost art. And not many people ground tie horses anymore or teach them how to ground tie. So, I just thought I'd do a little video on it. I just, I think it's a practical thing to teach your horse because you just never know when you're going to have to get off somewhere or there's nowhere handy to tie to or safe. And you don't want the horse wandering off on you, so ground tie. That's what we're doing, and we're going to kind of equip this fella here with all the bells and whistles and working on them. And as we go along, we're kind of thinking about all the things that we can possibly teach them. And I'm going to try and share as many of them as possible with you to give you an idea of stuff that you can do. Because, most of this stuff isn't very hard. I just showed you what is involved in teaching the horse to ground tie. And, and then it only took me like 15, 20 minutes to teach him. So not a terribly hard thing, not very difficult, and you can see the results. Not perfect yet. We just started, and like I said, this is what you get after 15 minutes. So don't expect it to be perfect. He's doing pretty good though, and messy little guy today. They're all a little messy. Just for the fun of it, I'll show you the other ones. Those two over there, those are actually grays. Actually, the one in front, she isn't near as bad as the other one behind her. But because of the snow, it's not horribly cold. The snow melts as soon as it hits them, so they're nice and wet. Then they come in here and roll, and, well, they don't look very gray anymore. They look a little more brown. Anyhow, that's it for today. And I'm going to see if I can come up with another one for you to kind of make up for my little absence there. I'd like to get at least 2 a week out to you so that you got something to chew on. Well, this time of year, actually, it probably isn't all that important because a lot of you, as the weather gets colder and a little less friendly, you might not be spending as much time out with your horse. I don't know. But on that note, actually, I'm going to make a little suggestion. If you're boarding, and even if you're on a budget, well, just prioritize, put off a couple lattes or whatever it is you spend your money on, and get a facility with an indoor arena. Yeah, you will pay for it. It's going to cost you a little more, but believe me, it's well worth it, especially on days like this if you get the kind of weather we got here. Like I said, there's a full-on blizzard going out. They got weather warnings on and everything else right now, and well, as you can see, it's kind of nice in here. It's not heated or anything, but, getting out of the wind and the snow and everything, it's pretty darn nice, and I'll tell you, well worth the money spent. So I do encourage you, if you want to be able to spend a little extra time with your horse on those miserable days, or it's snowing, raining, or the mosquitoes are bad, or getting sunburnt, or whatever. It's kind of all year round. I find that it's rather nice to be indoors no matter what time of year it is. So there's my suggestion. Set a little money aside and spend it wisely. Have a good day. Go play with your ponies. Bye now.